everyone. Wow, it's been a great day, so interesting and inspiring, and I feel so energized about going back to my team and everything. So first of all, just a quick show of hands. How many people here are familiar with Blue Man Group? Ooh, that's a lot. And how many people of you have actually seen Blue Man Group live on stage? Oh, that's just awesome. That's great. So for those of you, just to give a little history about Blue Man Group, we've got shows in 5 markets. We're in New York, Chicago, Boston. We've got a show in Las Vegas and a show here at Universal Orlando at City Walk. We've got a national tour. We've got a world tour kicking off in Singapore. And we've had long-standing shows in places like Amsterdam, Tokyo, and Toronto. And we actually have a show that's been the #1 show in Germany for the last 11 years in Berlin. They love Blue Man Group in Germany. It's just really awesome. The Blue Man Group was started by 3 really good friends in New York in the East Village in the mid-90s. And actually, the show's been running at the Astor Place Theater for over 2 decades. In fact, we're actually celebrating our 25th birthday next year in 2016, which is really incredible. And we have a lot of cool stuff happening. We have a new album. We have a book coming out. We have a lot of strategic partnerships with people like The Moth, the podcast The Moth. We're doing a really cool fan fiction thing with Wattpad. And it's great. And even after all this time, the show is super successful. We play to sellout crowds all the time. And at any given performance, up to 40% of the people have seen the show before. So it's not like they're going all the time or anything, but they're always going for a special occasion, or they're bringing friends in from out of town. In Boston, they'll say, like, you haven't seen Boston if you haven't seen Blue Man. What's really a lot of people don't know is that we're actually changing the show all the time. We have this amazing crew of writers and composers and musicians, and they're working all the time to make the show fresh and modern and relevant. So I joined Blue Man about 1.5 years ago as their chief marketing officer, and it was really fun because we got to sort of define from scratch what marketing does in the company and build a whole new team. And although it's not like scuba diving for a living, which would be awesome, the company is very chill, laid back, super collaborative, and very creative. So what are we going to be talking about today? First, we're going to take a look back. 70% of our ticket sales are online, so it's really important for us to be a big part of the conversations that are going on when people are looking for things to do and deciding what to do and where to go. So we're going to take a look back, and I'm just going to share with you the challenges that we faced when we were developing our effective social media strategy, and then take you through the principles, our guiding principles on developing content, and then just give you a sneak peek of what we're going to be working on moving forward. So just a quick look back. I think that everybody jumped, of course, this company jumped into things like, we had, Facebook and Instagram and Tumblr and YouTube and Pinterest, and just jumped into everything, and then realized they needed content to fill it. But I don't think anybody sort of thought through the fact that we actually we're content, I think that they just thought, like, we're content developers, that's what we do for a living. Our company is composed of just people who create content, so that wouldn't be a problem. But when I got there, I realized everything was just at an impasse, and there were a ton of questions that hadn't been answered. Like, who owns social media? Who runs it? Who leads it? And then there's this idea of, like, who actually runs the content? Is it the creative people, or is it PR, communications, or should we hire a third party to sort of interpret, what Blue Man is all about? Then there's this funny thing that, what's the voice of Blue Man Group? Like, the Blue Men actually don't speak. So, like Twitter, like, what do they say on Twitter? Is it like what we think the Blue Men would say if they could speak? But then that's like so stupid because they're just actors and they should just speak in the show, right? It just didn't make sense. Also, like, they're talent and they cost money. So if you're going to be using Blue Men in the videos, that's a big problem because they have to be rehearsed. They're actors. They're not actual, the characters themselves. So they have to be rehearsed and they have to be directed. And funnily enough, the bald and blue makeup is really bad on film. Like, you really have to light it. So all of a sudden, involving them in all the videos and images costs a lot of money. And all of this just led to we were immobilized. On top of all these questions, there's this idea that everything had to be perfect in our company. So we had, like I said, these amazing writers and composers, musicians, but they write for a live show, which means that they take a lot of time. They take months or years to create things, and they rehearse them, and people give them notes, and they get to rehearse in front of live crowds, and it's like an ongoing process. They're built to write this kind of show. They're not built to react to Pizza Rat. So it's like a very different kind of thing, and it was like this big collaboration across the company of a lot of people being able to weigh in. So on top of all this, what all this led to is just like a big lack of social media presence. So we had a lot of followers, but we didn't have any engagement, really. And so it was just like this idea that everything had to be perfect, and nothing was happening. So we decided, like, the process was broken, and we got a group together of key stakeholders across the company. So people that were involved in creative, PR, communications, marketing, production, and we decided, okay, let's just roll it back. What are we looking to get out of social media besides the ability to express ourselves creatively? What are we looking to get out of it? And it rolled back to what our marketing objectives are. Like, everything that we're doing is trying to get more people to see Blue Man Group now. So that's number one. Number two, can we use everything that we do, our advertising and our social media, to elevate the way people think about Blue Man, that we are fresh and modern and creative? And number three is that word of mouth. If 40% of the people are seeing the show again, these guys are ambassadors, and what can we give them to share to let their friends know how much they love Blue Man Group? So we had this big decision making. We created a new process. We created a quicker way to get people to approve things. We got our creatives more up to speed about, like, what are you actually writing for, and getting them really in tune with the way, they wanted production levels to be so high, and we're like, that's just not the expectations online. And we decided to focus on three big moments. It was just, this is the way it worked for us. It was just a filter for us to screen, what are we going to be working on? And I'm going to show you mostly all video today, because it's the end of the day, it would be more fun to watch, and video is harder for us, so I just thought it would be more challenging to show you the good stuff that we've done in video. So we decided to focus on three moments to create content. One was, and I'm sure you guys also think about this, and there's a million ways to talk about this and think about this, but this is the way that worked for us. So these cultural moments, can we sort of piggyback on interesting things that are happening, on big conversations that are happening in society? Second is organic moments. Are there things that just feel right to us and just resonate, and we just want to be talking about them? And three is opportunistic moments. Okay, this is, we need to be, social media is a tool, just like marketing or advertising or PR, to support things that are going on in the company anyway. And we had to say that there will be misses. Like, there was so much pressure for perfection and high production values, and nobody wanted to, take any risks. And we just had to get everybody comfortable with, and I know that you feel that, you guys have the same experience, that sometimes you're just not going to hit it out of the ballpark. And with they say that a tweet lasts like 18 minutes. So it's like, if it doesn't resonate, then it's just not going to have a long shelf life. And, it'll just go out there into the internet ether. As long as it's not brand damaging, we really wanted people to creatively just feel free and, just have fun and start. So first, our cultural moments. These are, what we did with this is we created a social media activation calendar. We really formalized it, and we put everything in there for the next 12 months. So anything big culturally that was happening, holidays, our sales trends, where we spend money, and so we meet every week to look at that calendar, and we circle things that we set and we reset things that we're going to be working on. So it's a great check-in place for us, and we put our budget and our resources towards this. So we can look out and say, something big is happening, what should we be doing here? As well as we have our team always looking and seeing what's they're online all day like all of us, and they're like, well, what's happening right now? What should we talk about? What would be beneficial for us to talk about that's happening right now? So this was our first foray in this. This was like the first thing that we did under this new system. We saw that the iPhone was coming out. There was a date for it. And we realized, our show, if you've seen it, there's a ton about technology. And we knew that unboxing videos really resonated among people. And then there's that funny thing where you can't open up the box, where it's like vacuum packed. And we knew that the Blue Men could have a lot of fun with that. And so we felt like we could have a voice in this conversation before the iPhone came out. So you see how we got around the idea of not having Blue Men in every video is that we just use their hands. And those are actually real Blue Men because there's a whole way of acting with your hands, apparently, that's really, really important. And this was pretty long. It was like a real battle to get this as short as it is now, because there were so many great parts that the people just couldn't, cut out. They just didn't, everything was so precious. And we had a hard time. We needed to get this out. We needed to get it out quickly because there was a real date for the iPhone unveiling. But we had trouble getting this approved because the production levels weren't all the way up here, but we just could, come on, we got to do it. And it was great because we got 900,000 views really quickly on YouTube and Facebook and a ton of engagement. So prior to this, the most views we got was 10,000. So people were just completely blown away. Plus we got placement on Business Insider and Gizmodo and Huffington Post. So it was really, really a big win for us. This was the first time out. It was great. So along with having conversations, broad conversations, we also, and we talked about it this morning, this idea of having more targeted conversations, deeper conversations with a smaller niche audience. So Game of Thrones Season 5 was coming up. We had a ton of Game of Thrones fans. And this was interesting because we'd seen that people had done great stuff with riffing on sort of the opening credits and the music. And we're all about music, and we really want to show off our musical chops. So we thought, oh, here's a way for us to enter this conversation. So this was great, and the production values were so high. You could see we took a lot more care with it. I mean, music had to be like written, or composed, arranged, and performed. The lighting was really careful because we had to completely mimic the start of the show. I don't watch the show, so I don't get all the nuances, but fans of the show really, really, really loved it. And I guess that's what we try to do. When we talk about the audiences we try to reach, we're trying to reach all those people who come to the show and love it and want to stay engaged, and those people are really important to us. But then, we're all about ticket sales, and we really need to reach the people that we think would be interested in Blue Man Group, but don't know about us yet. So connect with them on something that they're interested in, even if they don't know that much about Blue Man Group. So they watch this and they're like, huh, that was cool. They didn't really expect anything so thoughtful or amazing to come from characters that they don't even really know about or just know about superficially. And they'll share that with a friend because they're connecting with it about Game of Thrones rather than about it being about Blue Man Group. The next one is organic moments. So these are things that just matter to us and feel right. And they're important to our cause, our message, our community, and we hope they're successful and they resonate. So here in Orlando, our team here heard about this boy who, it's a little complicated, so let me see if I can get this. Okay, he was born with no arm, and he was going to be getting a prosthetic arm from this group called Limitless. It's a group of students out of the University of Central Florida, and they're doing this they're these amazing guys. Okay, is that the thing? So they're these amazing group of students who are using 3D printing technology to create prosthetic limbs for kids, inexpensive prosthetic limbs for kids. And this kid hadn't spoken until he was 9 years old and really related to the Blue Man characters and had asked Limitless if he could have a Blue Man Group arm. And so we were, just amazed to hear about this. And at the same time, you probably saw the Robert Downey Jr. piece where he gave an Iron Man arm to a kid. So it was the same kind of thing. And we thought, wow, this would be a really amazing way. We could make us giving him this arm a really incredible experience.
My name's Wes. I'm one of the Blue Men.
Oh my God!
It's really nice to meet you.
It's really nice to meet you, buddy.
This is where our video operator sits down. I think if you twist it, there you go. Yeah.
This is pretty cool.
You can see the Captain Crunch. You want to try some?
Sure.
They good?
Yeah, it tastes good.
Here's our funny Viking helmet. You want to put it on? You want to go up on stage and have a look?
Oh my God! It's a Blue Man! Hello! Hello, you guys! What's up, bros? High five! Cool! Thank you, guys. My new robotic arm! Wow!
How do you like it?
It's pretty awesome.
Down? There you go. There you go. Oh, you got my finger. Release me. Oh, thank you.
you could tell this was done, all in one day, really quickly. And we do have an amazing editor who took, hours and hours and, was able to edit it down to this. It was awesome because it got like 370,000 views really quickly. We got on the front pages of so many different publications, but, it also brought a ton of attention to UCF and Limitless and to the students who created that. So that's like something organic that just felt like the right thing to do for us. And then there's opportunistic, things that are supporting our marketing plans. So, just capitalizing on partnerships in PR and leveraging our relationship with other brands. So a really big priority for us this year and next is to grow our relevance by getting appearances on national TV shows. So that's like America's Got Talent, or being on the Today Show, or 2 weeks ago we were on a skit with Jimmy Fallon on the Tonight Show. So it's like really, really, really big for us to get into that. And so it's like, how do we support those? So this past summer, we were invited by NBC to be part of this new show called I Can Do That. That had all these celebrities like Joe Jonas and Nicole Scherzinger from the Pussycat Dolls and Sierra. And so, they had huge followings. So what we tried to do is to create something that could like piggyback on their followers and create something that then they would, send out to them and sort of expand our reach and extend the shelf life of this appearance. So I'm going to play these, and I like watched them last night, and they it's one of these things like some are better than others, and they're sort of out of context, like at the time. And I'm sure you have this too when you look back at something. You're like, oh, when this thing happened, this was perfect. But you'll see there's 7 different ones. They're short, so they can play across all our channels.
Sierra.
Catch me in the mall, I buy it out G5 plane. Yeah, I fly out, on the back, look like a lap, sitting on 28, and all you can't get it if you ain't got plenty cake.
Okay. This was great for us. 20 million people saw us on the show because we appeared on 2 episodes. And we got supposedly $11 million in PR value from the media impressions that we got. But then these videos were shared by all of the celebrities, and we got millions of people engaging with them online. So it was a really, really, really big win for us. But most importantly, this is where we actually started to see some ROI, because what happened is all this traffic through social started hitting our website. So and it's like if you get to our website, you're very likely to buy a ticket, right? Once we sort of get you, it's a good indicator that you're very interested in buying a ticket. And so our sales went up 130% over the month before. And since everybody that came into the website got put into our retargeting pool, sales continued to go up another 176% the next month. So it was super successful for us from a media standpoint, but also actually from a sales standpoint. So this was really great. Another opportunistic moment, so you have to have a staff that's just like nimble and quick and with it. And so our head of digital, Jen, heard online, does anybody know who the Vamps are? Yeah? I didn't know who they were, but apparently they're a very, very, very big boy band from the UK. They have 5 million followers, and they were on Kelly and Michael 2 weeks ago.
They are the pop band out of England, cause a stir everywhere they go. Their new single is available now. Here are the Vamps with Wake Up.
What are you guys going to do while you're in New York? Because you're here for a few days. What are you going to do while you're here?
We've actually got a day off, so we're going to do some touristy stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, visit where we
Ground Zero.
Ground Zero.
Go see the Blue Man Group as well.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Well, they probably going to be sold out now you said that. Everybody.
Right, that's right. Hey, listen.
So the Vamps say they want to go to Blue Man Group. We hear about this right away. Jen picks up the phone, gets through to their manager, and gets them to the Astor Place Theater, takes pictures and posts them. What was great is that there was like this funny, the Vamps loved their evening, but there was like this funny interaction between this lead singer and the Blue Man over there, and she sort of said, hey, what did you do to make the Blue Man make that face? And the band retweeted it, all their followers did, and we got like thousands of favorites from it. So it was this idea of thanking the Vamps for coming and then activating their fan base. So looking ahead, this process seems to be working. This committee of stakeholders, our streamlined process, getting people to approve things quickly, letting people see that everything it can be like a high-low, that some things can be great and some things could be quicker production values. And focusing for us on these 3 moments now. I mean, we could always use more resources, more people, but for now this strategy seems to be working, and everybody in the company is really energized about it. All the creatives now are seeing what works and what doesn't. I'm not showing you a couple of things that we did that didn't work, but it was pretty obvious to everybody, and we really did a debrief after them, so everybody who worked on them understood what didn't work, and we do a debrief after the good ones too, so everybody's like, oh, we just have to keep doing more of this and less of this. So one thing is that we happen to have shows in 3 cities that have die-hard sports fans: New York, Boston, Chicago, and when their teams are winning, when they go into the playoffs, their cities just go wild. So is there a way that we can sort of jump on that passion, relate to their fans, without like competing with them, by supporting them? So that's something that we're going to be working on. We've got Mr. Met there. Something that's keeping our company really, really busy right now is we're opening up a new show at Luxor, Las Vegas. And Las Vegas is really, really, really tough for us, right? Because we can do everything, to catch people when they're, beforehand, when they're, getting their boarding pass, when they're looking for things to do in Vegas. We're all over that with search and display, and trying to get into their social channels. But then, no one wants to make a plan before they hit the Strip. Like, you just want to, you don't know what Tuesday night's going to be like, right? So it's really, really hard for us because we're and I was listening avidly to this sponsored social, like we've been doing it, but it's really hard for us because we don't know if it, everything else we do actually leads to a click that leads to a transaction, right? But people aren't buying their tickets that way in Vegas because there's a lot of places. There's like ticket brokers and there's like a half-price ticket booth. There's a lot of ways to get tickets. So they might have been influenced by what they saw, but then they go buy at another place and we can't link those up yet. People have talked about like a beacon technology where we could know if you walked into the theater if you'd been served ads. So that's something that we really need to work on. But we're excited. It's November 20th at Luxor. And then, what is everybody talking about? What's the most, this is, the biggest thing. And it's sort of like the iPhone 6, where there is a date for it that we know about. And, you can't get it yet, so people are just dying for content. And so, now that everyone's like so energized by, what's going on online and in social, we have a group that's working on, it's a really funny video about a stormtrooper who auditions to be in Blue Man Group. And it'll give you, not only is it hysterical because the stormtrooper has to do everything and I'm not sure if he makes it or not, but it also takes us through the casting process, which is very interesting. Like we go through 1,000 blue, people audition for us to get maybe 3, maybe 5 blue men out of that group, because there's just so many things. You have to be an actor, you have to be a drummer, you have to be an improv person, you have to be able to like communicate, just think about it just with your face, just with your eyes. And they have to be, it's nice for them to be a certain size and athletic build. So it's really hard for us to find those people, and I don't know if a stormtrooper will cut it. So one more thing, a show of hands, like, are you more interested in seeing Blue Man Group now than you were this morning? Okay, awesome. Okay, so now I get to be like Oprah. So if you reach under the table, under your table ahead of you, you'll have 2 tickets. We'd love to invite you to come to see Blue Man Group at Universal Orlando. So great.